What is going on to the AMC community and what is going on to the AMC stock group? In today's video, I'm very excited to be talking about the AMC price prediction and expectation for tomorrow, July 23rd, which is also a Friday. Guys, right off the bat, AMC stock looks like it is forming a head and shoulders pattern. Now, we will talk about all of this. And so, will AMC stock go to $31 a share first or $46 a share first? Now, the only thing about these price predictions is that our long-term price target for the stock is much, much higher. So do not worry about the near-term price targets, which in this case would be for tomorrow, July 23rd, which is also a Friday. Guys, do not worry. These are not my ultimate price targets. Otherwise, we would not be dollar cost averaging into the stock for quite a while. Okay, it has been quite a while since we have begun our dollar cost averaging. So when was this? Around the beginning, middle of February, all the way until right now. So we are still in this stock. And why, might you ask? Why are we still in this stock? Because we are part of the movement. Now, I'm not sure if you guys own AMC. I'm not sure if you guys are a long-term trader or a day trader. But for me, this AMC shares that I have, it is just in the account. Lock it up. Don't look at it again. And I'm not the only one doing that. So many people are doing the same exact thing, because if you had locked up your shares right over here at around the beginning of February and you did not care what AMC did, you would be up over 500%. And if you talk about the all-time highs, you would be up over 1,000%. Now, again, if you use the concept of not looking at the account and just locking up your shares, and of course, then you would not have taken profits anyways, because we all know what GameStop ended up doing. What did GameStop end up doing? They went from around that $40 share range, then they went all the way back up, then they went back down to the $60 range, and then they went all the way back up to $500 a share. Very back and forth, and honestly, you would not see the maximum potential if you ended up selling your stock. Anyways, that is just what I wanted to quickly say, and I also wanted to point out that AMC and GameStop do actually follow each other. And talking about following each other, let's go ahead and first start off with not the head and shoulder pattern, but actually the indices. This is actually getting very confusing because the S&P keeps on approaching new highs, and actually right now it's not at the all-time highs, but it's actually very close to approaching its all-time high. And so on a day like today, where the S&P 500 is actually up on the day, I believe they were up on the day 100%. And when it's up on a day, why does AMC not follow in that same direction? And you guys can see right off the bat, AMC stock actually goes into a downtrend. And this is very confusing. And today, I was wondering, what is going on with AMC stock? And so I said, okay, if it's not the S&P 500, then maybe the IWM. Because usually the IWM and AMC stock follow very closely to each other, and they're very similar because the IWM controls AMC stock. And I actually believe that AMC stock is one of the most amount of shares in the IWM. I think the IWM has a lot of AMC stocks, so therefore AMC makes up a good percentage of the IWM index, so AMC must follow in the direction of the IWM. Well, today the IWM also ended up downtrending just a little bit, but it actually ended up having a rebound to the upside. But the IWM ended up also having an upside momentum, right? The trend today was bullish rather than bearish. So July 22nd, that would be yesterday, which was a Thursday, the IWM in the morning decided to go in a downtrend. But then after that, it decided to have a bounce following the SPY. The SPY also had this same pattern, and it ended up going back up, and so did the IWM, guys. But then AMC stock and the IWM both decided to have a fall. So let's see if AMC stock also had a fall. AMC stock did have a slight uptrend on the daily or on the minute, and so AMC stock at around 17 o'clock, that was when it was approaching its all-time highs. So for the IWM, 17 o'clock would also make it almost at the all-time highs. But the interesting thing is that the IWM actually ended up going higher on the minute chart, whereas AMC decided to go lower after 17 o'clock. So the all-time peak for AMC was then followed by a downtrend, but the IWM continued to make more uptrends. So here is a new thesis. Usually we have been trying to correlate the IWM, the SPY, with AMC stock. But once I'm starting to see that the IWM and the S&P 500, they're not really in the most correlation with AMC stock. I'm not saying that this will happen all the time, but I'm saying that now we know. We have confirmation that we cannot use the IWM and the S&P 500 as 100% indicators of what AMC stock is going to do. This is the original thesis just because usually AMC stock followed what the IWM would do. I mean, the IWM, it is a large index. It is around $200 a share for an index fund, and it includes a lot of AMC stock and a lot of AMC shares, so you would think that AMC and the IWM would follow in the same way. And with that being said, AMC stock is forming an insane head and shoulders pattern. This means that AMC stock, we have one shoulder, we have the head, we have another shoulder right here, and if we decide to break this shoulder, then what that is going to indicate is that we will probably have a gap fill to the downside. And so where is that gap fill going to be? And so the support line would be at around $37 a share. I think that would actually be a very good support level, just because if we decide to break $37 a share, then this stock will have a gap fill to the downside. And so with this head and shoulder pattern, I think there's going to be a very resilient support level, and this is going to be the $37 support level. But do not get me wrong, just because it may be resilient does not mean that it will not be broken. If the $37 share level is broken for AMC stock, then what does that mean? That means that there's probably going to be a gap fill, and this gap fill would probably take AMC stock to around $34 and some change, and if AMC stock decides to break $34 a share tomorrow, which I do not think it will, just because AMC stock will probably not fall that much in just one day, and so if it does end up breaking $34, however, though, then there's also another gap fill, and this gap fill would take it to around $32 a share. I'm not really worried about these levels, though. The only level that I'm worried about, I'm only going to be really focusing on two of them. I'm going to be focusing on the support level, and so I want to see the support level end up holding, but if it doesn't, then that is no problem, because then we will be prepared for a gap fill to around that $34 and some change level. It may not be exactly at 34, but around the $34 level would probably be another level of support. And so I'm not really going to be looking at any other support levels, just because, in my opinion, and remember, I'm not a financial advisor, I do not think that AMC will break $34 a share tomorrow. Now let's talk about the upside for this stock. So the upside for AMC stock tomorrow, we have a lot of upside on this stock, and why might you ask? Well, when everyone is bearish, that is a time to be bullish. Now, obviously, this does not work 100% of the time, but I think a lot of people tomorrow have a really bearish sentiment for AMC stock, and so therefore, I would not be surprised if the market makers and, the hedge funds decide to long the stock so that they could make their money, because we all know that institutions like JP Morgan, they are now having margin calls on them. They now have margin calls. And why might they have margin calls? Well, that is because now they're trying to protect their bank. And I talked about this in some of my previous videos, but basically, they do not want a lot of liquidation because they do not want to have a lot of their people losing money for their banks. And so, with that being said, they need to reach a certain criteria every single day with their profit and loss. Obviously, they need to win more than they lose. So, how are they going to do that? They're going to try to win by usually trading AMC stock because it is very volatile. And so with that being said, I think that they will see a lot of opportunity with how AMC is currently set up right now. And so they will, in my opinion, possibly long AMC stock tomorrow. And with that long-term thesis on the near-term side, which would be tomorrow, July 23rd, which is a Friday, I think that AMC stock could have the possibilities of reaching back to definitely $39 a share, almost to that $40 level. And the only other question would be, where would AMC stock go after $40 a share? Guys, there is no question about it. There is a gap fill to the upside to $46 a share. This may seem crazy. However, we immediately had a gap fill as soon as we broke $40 a share. And so once $40 ends up being broken, that is probably when there will be a gap fill to the upside. That is what the support level was. So once we end up breaking, we will probably end up going back to the near-term all-time highs, which was around $46 a share, because that is the gap fill. And so with that being said, I know that these were a lot of price ranges. However, with AMC stock, if the sentiment tomorrow for the market is negative, then AMC stock will probably break down more further to the downside. And if the sentiment is very bullish tomorrow, it is probably going to break out within the bullish range. And so therefore, I have these price levels. These are my price level targets. As I said before, if it breaks 37, then we know the price targets. If it breaks above 40, then we know the price targets. So with that being said, guys, make sure you guys don't forget to sign up in the description box below for the link to Webull. All you gotta do is deposit $5 and you guys get your 2 free stocks. Very simple, especially on a day like today. A lot of brokerages were not working, and there's nothing wrong with opening up many brokerages. And as I said before, very simple to do. And you'll get your 2 free stocks. So with that being said, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.